Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day. Today is the day that I reveal who is on the plane at the end of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll dive into that in a second. But at the end of my ending explain video, I asked you guys to hit that like button, and if you did so 20,000 times, I would answer the question, who is on the No Russian plane? And you'll see what I mean as we dive in through this, but I'm going to do this video in a little bit of a different way. Instead of just diving in and giving you my opinion on who I think that character is, I'm going to give you guys options. I'm going to give you 3 separate characters with backstories that would all fit onto that airplane and ask you guys who you think it is. By the end of the video, I will give you my opinion on who I think it is, of course, but I wanted to present all of the options. That way you guys could make an informed decision on who you think is on that plane. But as for this video, if you enjoy this type of thing, you like my story videos, you like my breakdowns, that kind of thing, be sure to hit that like button. Let's say if this video hits 15,000 likes, I will continue on doing videos like this and start diving into individual characters' backstories like we have done in the past. So if that's something you'd enjoy, something you'd like to see, be sure to hit that like button. But without further ado, let's get back on that plane so I can answer that question.
Who is he?
Makarov.
Дамы и господа, наш самолет завершил набор высоты. Вы можете расстегнуть ремни.
Сейчас вам будет подан обед. Горячее вы можете выбрать в меню.
Beef, chicken, or fish, gentlemen?
Salads, please.
So I want to make this clear when I say this, but as far as who this character is, it is completely possible that this could just be some random ultra-nationalist soldier working for Makarov, a character that we have never seen before and is brand new to the game. I want to make that clear that that is absolutely an option. However, that's not one of the 3 characters that I'm going to give you, because Infinity Ward doesn't like to do that. They like to hide Easter eggs, and they definitely like to bring back old characters. So, first things first, our first option for who this character could be is number 1, Hadir Karim. Now, Hadir Karim was introduced in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 as Farah Karim's brother and co-leader of the Urzikstan militia. Now, as we found out through the campaign, he took things to a bit of a extreme, in which he ended up stealing gas and using it against Roman Barkov's forces, but of course committing a war crime and being named a terrorist by the CIA.
My truck is full of explosives! It's time to use them!
Russian gas?
Yes! And now we send it back to the Russians! The gas masks are in the bunker! Come quickly!
I know what you may be thinking, Hadir hated the Russians, so why would he go and work alongside Makarov? Well, if we pay close attention to the ending conversation from Modern Warfare 2019 between Kate Laswell and Captain Price, we hear an interesting thing about Hadir and the Russians.
We already have loose ends.
Then I will tie them.
I can fund assets, not outlaws.
Enjoy the tea, then.
Sakhayev wants Barkov's throne.
I almost buried him in Pripyat with Macmillan.
That was the father. This is the son, Victor.
Lovely family.
They're big fans of Hadir's.
Well, that would explain why he's still alive.
They're gonna get him out.
Then give me what I need.
So at the end of the campaign, we find out that Viktor Zakhaev was planning on getting Hadir out of jail. Now, I have a completely separate theory outside of this video that Hadir Karim actually becomes Khalid al-Assad, and that's why we see him in Verdansk within Warzone. There's a lot of things that line up with that. But taking that away, whether Hadir is part of that or not, one thing that you have to understand back from the original Modern Warfare trilogy is the Four Horsemen. So the Four Horsemen consisted of the fourth horseman being Imran Zakhaev, the third being Viktor Zakhaev, the second being Khalid al-Assad, and the final one, the most important one, and the one in charge, Vladimir Makarov. Now, as we find out at the end of the Warzone story, Imran Zakhaev is dead. Captain Price takes out Viktor Zakhaev, but we know from the ending of the campaign that Hadir Karim was saved by them, potentially becoming that third member of the Four Horsemen. Also, we know that Vladimir Makarov is making a return. So if Hadir is indeed Khalid al-Assad, or even if he was saved by the Four Horsemen, he would have some duty to actually help them. Now, what we can actually take away from the ending cutscene, and we'll come back to this a couple times, is that the person receiving the salad and receiving the ammunition for the weapon seemingly has a Russian accent. The second thing we know is that they receive a text message saying no Russian. The reason for this is because Vladimir Makarov doesn't want them speaking in Russian because he wants to frame the Americans for whatever terrorist attack happens on the airplane. Very similar to the No Russian mission within Modern Warfare 2. Now, if Hadir has been in a Russian prison or gulag for the past year or so, he would definitely pick up some Russian and definitely be able to do a Russian accent. So he fits all the criteria, and he's definitely one of the possibilities to be on this airplane. Now, our second possibility, and the one that you guys left by far the most in the comments, and one that would definitely be interesting, is Yuri. Now, Yuri was a character who is not in Modern Warfare 2019 and not in Modern Warfare 2. However, he was in the original trilogy. And when you see his backstory, specifically with Makarov, it might actually line up why he might be on the airplane. But what I will say is, even though the most people commented this on the last video, I think it's actually the character that has the least evidence to support it.
When I first met Vladimir Makarov.
Yuri, wake up. Zakhaev wouldn't want you to miss this. This deal will generate millions for our cause. Money can buy many things, even power. The road to our future begins here, my friend.
Now, here's what lines up for Yuri. First of all, he is Russian, and he was Vladimir Makarov's right-hand man. We find this out in Modern Warfare 3 when eventually he goes to work for Task Force 141. Now, you may be wondering how that comes to be. Well, he works alongside Vladimir Makarov, and he's essentially there for all of the big moments. When Imran Zakhaev gets his arm chopped off. When Vladimir Makarov blows up a nuke, killing 30,000 soldiers. But what ends up happening is when Makarov ends up planning on attacking civilians in the No Russian terrorist attack, Yuri has a change of heart and he manages to contact the CIA, telling them what is going on, giving away Vladimir Makarov's plan. And essentially, once this happens, Makarov turns on Yuri.
My friend, my ally, my betrayer. What happens here today will change the world forever. Nothing can stop this. Not even you.
Now, here's the thing with Infinity Ward. Even though they are bringing back old characters and they're not exactly the same, it seems as though as far as the individual characters' stories, they like to stick with the canon from the original 3 games. And to see Yuri come back and plan or pull off a terrorist attack wouldn't really line up with his character from Modern Warfare 3, because that's at the point where he turned and joined Task Force 141 and stopped working with Makarov as soon as civilians were involved. And that is what it appears as though is going on the airplane. Now, the things that do line up is, number 1, he's Russian. Number 2, he worked with Vladimir Makarov, and he was involved in No Russian in some way in the original trilogy. But while we're sticking with canon, I actually believe that the character that would make the most sense and line up with Modern Warfare 2 is a character by the name of Joseph Allen.
Yesterday you were a soldier on the front lines, but today, front lines are history. Uniforms are relics. The war rages everywhere, and there will be casualties. This man, Makarov, is fighting his own war and he has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideals. He trades blood for money. He's your new best friend.
Who is Joseph Allen? Essentially, Joseph Allen is an undercover CIA operative chosen by General Shepard to go undercover to work alongside Vladimir Makarov to help the CIA and Task Force 141 capture Makarov. But he is sent in on no Russian. Essentially, General Shepard chose Joseph Allen to perform a terrorist attack. And that is exactly what happens. He goes in alongside Vladimir Makarov, seemingly undercover, and does just that. But by the end of the mission, Vladimir Makarov is wiser and finds out that Yuri tipped off the CIA. And upon doing so, by the end of the mission, Vladimir Makarov shoots Joseph Allen and ends up framing America for this attack on the airport, causing World War III. And that is why at the beginning of the mission, Vladimir Makarov says,
Remember, no Russian.
He is telling his fellow soldiers not to speak Russian so that no one hears Russian and thinks that Americans pulled off this attack. So at the end of the current Modern Warfare 2, when we once again see no Russian, seemingly all of our characters can speak English, similar to Joseph Allen. But oh, it doesn't end there. Because guess what? When Joseph Allen goes undercover with Makarov, he is given a cover name, a Russian cover name, by the name of Alexei Borodin, or Alex for short. Now, as we know, Alex was introduced in Modern Warfare 2019 as a CIA asset, and his code name was Alex. We don't actually know his real name. It could be Private Allen, it could be something else altogether. But by the end of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, we find out that General Shepard is in the wind, seemingly still working with Shadow Company behind closed doors. So he definitely still has the leverage to get a CIA asset into working with Vladimir Makarov.
And he's on the Shepard.
Totally off the grid.
Oh, we'll find him.
Now we've got bigger fish.
So if history were to repeat itself, we would have Alex, or Alexei Borodin, on the plane working with Vladimir Makarov by direction of General Shepard, who is currently in the wind, performing a terrorist attack, which they specifically state no Russian because they are framing the Americans on it, hence why Alex, an American soldier, would be found on the plane. So if we're going with the theory of history repeating itself, that is the theory that I believe, that this soldier, this character, is Joseph Allen, and potentially even Alex. I would line up and repeat the history of the original Modern Warfare 2. But again, these are just theories. I present them all to you, and you can let me know down in the comments what one you believe to be the truth. I gave you what one I believed in, but now it is completely up to you. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoy these type of story videos, be sure to hit that like button. If this video gets 15,000 likes, we'll continue making these videos. And of course, if you like this, want to stay up to date on all my videos, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time,
Remember, no Russian.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard.